Morning, and welcome back to, how about unknown questions to, well, unknown answers to unasked questions, where, of course, I answer asked questions, which are easily Googleable for the answer. Yeah, this particular question came from a recent Super Carlin Brothers video where they were talking about various things, while playing Mario Kart, because, of course, it was the gaming channel, not the theories and stuff channel. And, they answered all sorts of questions, but then they got, off topic about, what a loaf is. I have decided to define it via Google. Okay, so I'm going to read the definition for it, and then I'm going to, break it down. So, loaf, an item food formed into an oblong shape and sliced into portions. And, oblong, I'm probably not saying that right, is having an elongated shape as a rectangle or an oval. Okay, so, yeah, that is very fanciful wording, I suppose, so I should probably, break it down a bit. Okay, so food item, that would mean that stuff such as, those sheets in, some craft stores, those would not count as a loaf because they're not food items. The ones you would cut, not the... I don't even know where I was going there. Okay, and then it is formed, which would mean that stuff such as a watermelon wouldn't count, I think. I don't know. Formed is kind of unclear in this, By the way, it's not entirely clear what formed is supposed to mean, but I do think it refers to, it being, shaped by humans to be that shape. Yeah. So, yeah, a watermelon, despite being oblong and the food item and sliced, is not, it naturally grows that way, so, okay. And then there is, oblong, which I already said earlier, so stuff such as, I'd not think of an example for this. Probably wedding cakes, the circular wedding cake. That wouldn't count because it's a circle, which is not elongated. Okay, and then there is sliced into portions. So that would mean stuff such as a chocolate bar wouldn't count because you don't slice it into portions. I mean, you technically, bite it into portions, but, that's not slicing, per se. Okay. So, what is a loaf? Well, there's the obvious, bread loaf and meat loaf, which, have it in their name. But, what are ones that we don't generally refer to? Well, I was talking about, wedding cakes earlier, but, the more, square cakes, in a form of a rectangle that you would buy at, a grocery store or something. Yeah, those would probably be loaves, since they are rectangular. They are sliced into portions, smaller slices. They are food, obviously. And they are formed that way, out of various different grains and such. Okay, so, or some other examples, probably, brownies, when they're, made on a platter and then cut out. Yeah, this is a very niche term, honestly. There are not many things that this would apply to. And it's very obvious why, the bread and meatloaf thing would dominate and, cause you to not really think about, what loaf really means and, what else could be a loaf. Yeah. It could also be argued that they, that, cake in the brownies example, that, they're supposed to be three-dimensional. I have no idea if it can actually is argued by anybody, but theoretically, a bread loaf and I suppose meatloaf too could be in a a more three-dimensional shape, such as I don't know what a 3D oval is called. Yeah, whatever a 3D oval is, or that it should be a rectangular prism, which okay, I don't know where I was going there, honestly. Because, cake and brownies are three-dimensional. You can eat them, but, I guess you think of them as fun. I don't know. Whatever. So, yeah, that's the amazing definition for loaf. So, good afternoon.